Hey, welcome to This Week in Real Estate. I'm Jason Schultz, your mortgage guy, and I'm here with my partners in crime, Cory, Otto, O-T-T-O, I like to call him, the house expert, and Jackie, the mortgage whiz. We've got a hot topic today. Is now the best time to buy a home? Spoiler alert, duh, yes. Why else would we do something like this? Even my dog agrees. He's barking in the other room. And we're all about to tell you why. Cory, Jackie, what's up? Welcome to This Week in Real Estate. What's happening with you guys?
Hey, Jason. So, ready to talk about kind of why is now the time to pull the trigger on buying a home. So if you're still waiting, it's basically like you're still sitting in a deer stand waiting for a deer to walk out in front of you.
Is that why you have that cool backdrop with the deer behind you?
I do. That's why I have this awesome backdrop on there. My son actually just shot a deer tonight, so it was kind of like a great intro into what we're talking about tonight. So 9-year-old, totally stoked, shot his first deer with a bow tonight. And my daughter's boyfriend shot his first deer last night. So it's going good in this house.
Jerky for days. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Cory, what's up with you, bro?
Yeah, I don't have any fun deer hunting stories, but we did have our kinship fall bash last night, which Jackie and her husband and some friends came. Very successful. I spoke with my little mentee Jackson, and we had to be up on stage. We raised a lot of money and great turnout, and it was good time.
Love it. Jackie, bow season. How long's bow season? When's gun season start? I'm pro shooting deer, so I don't hit them with my car. I'm just not a big hunter myself. So can you refresh me on all that stuff?
Yeah, so bow season goes from September till like middle to end of January. And then gun season is going to start for 2 weeks over Thanksgiving.
Cool. Cory, do you hunt?
Yeah, I do not know. Not because I'm like you. I'm not against it. I just do not have the patience, and I don't like the cold, and I get bored easy. So I admire anybody that does, and I know there's some people are passionate about it, and I like to eat it, but yeah, I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, I grew up in Iowa pheasant hunting, and that was just something we did religiously. And then when I moved to Wisconsin, mom, dad got divorced, and usually I'm not trying to be mean, but usually the hunting things with your dad. Okay, if there's any moms out there, good for you. I know Jackie likes to shoot things. That way she doesn't shoot humans. That works out good. That's for another topic, another podcast some night. But I just never got into the deer hunting thing. And like I said, I'm pro for it. I've gone with my buddies a couple times. I always get some jerky out of the deal, stuff like that. So it's all good. But hey, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I'm not talking about me because I've been gone for 10 days on the road eating in gas stations, so that's been fun. Mortgage rates. We have a new president. We saw what the stock market did the day after the election. I think they said $20 billion was invested into the market from private investors the day after Trump won. We did see a 25 cut from the Fed the other day, 25 basis points. Does that always result in the rates came down 25%? No. Or a full quarter? No. But what it does is it tells investors possibly that this is going. So I know, Cory, we talked a little bit about ahead of time some stuff with some inflation and things like that. What are you seeing from your end? What are you hearing from your buyers and sellers?
Yeah, so I know that, I like to try to understand rates and understand inflation, understand the Fed cut. Back before I got into real estate, I used to think that when the Feds cut the rate that, the next day, interest rates buying a home are going to be automatically that percentage point less, whatever the cut was. But, being in the business now, talking to you guys and trying to understand, the market and what the Fed rate cuts are all about and how that actually affects interest rates. So, I think that, just our discussions that we've had that there was the cut, it's affected interest rates a little bit. Rates did go down a little bit. And I think that, I'm optimistic that they're going to go down more, just like that we've discussed, in past episodes. So, I really think that, again, as we discussed before, it was kind of like, hey, this is what we think is going to happen. Now right. I feel like we're starting those steps and saying, hey, this is what's starting to happen. So, I think in the next weeks and months is a great time for buyers to be looking, find that deal. and make the purchase, get a good deal on the home, and as rates do go down, once they start going down, and if they've went down enough for it to make sense, that then they'll be able to refinance.
Yeah, and Jackie, before I have you answer the question on the screen, somebody has a Facebook account that's not logged into like our system, so I'm not sure who's asking these, but these are good questions. The first person said deer chili is the best. Jackie, are you go deer chili or?
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Every year I make deer chili, so it's definitely a top priority in my household. So I'll have to make some, and the Facebook user just send me a message, let me know. I might have to get you some.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds awesome. This week in real estate and recipes with Jackie Lange.
Yeah.
So Cory and I are just the pretty faces, of course. So it's all good. No, I think they talked about doing cuts. I think they've been propping up this economy. I really do. Because it's our rates. Everybody thinks that like mortgage rates come off the stock market, and they don't. It's more of the bond market. And investors, if they feel like the stock market's doing well, they're going to put more money in that stock market, and the bond market just kind of sits there. But buying a house, houses are not too expensive. It's the cost of money that's too expensive. I mean, I think we learned that when rates were lower, 2% and 3%, we saw a lot of inventory move because money was cheap. And I think if I were up an economy and to get it jamming, rates do have to come down. And I'm not talking about just mortgage rates. I'm talking about, auto rates, everything. I mean, businesses need to be able to borrow money and not have it kill them. Farmers, it goes completely across the board. Oh, the Facebook user, it's one of my tractor pulling friends. So I like that. So, and this is a legit question. So Jackie, like, what are your thoughts over the next 3 to 6 months? You think with interest rates, what are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you feeling?
Honestly, from what I'm hearing, kind of what I'm seeing, seeing the slight drop like right after the elections, I think, and truly in my heart, I feel like we're going to start seeing a slow and steady decline. It's not going to be something that's going to flip and then all of a sudden 3%, it's going to plummet down to 3% again.
Right.
Those rates that we're seeing once again, like over COVID, they kind of like go match with like how the economy and stuff like that's going. So, you don't want to see something plummet that fast. Something goes down to 3%, the value of the houses and what you're going to have to pay for it is going to go astronomically through the roof. So you want to see a nice steady decline. But I am hopeful to see that come probably springtime to be close to like 5s and mid 5s.
Yeah. And the next topic, I want to talk about the cost of waiting. And this is something that Jackie and Cory and I talk about all the time. And the cost of waiting, I'm going to break it down and Jason talk, and then Cory and Jackie can touch upon it as well. But the cost of waiting. So right now, I would say, Cory, I don't know, because last week you had a $175,000 house. You said, how many offers you had to actually go over on that one a little bit. I feel like that's still in that price range where it's affordable, right?
Yeah, I think that was a very unique price range. And it isn't the perfect house, and the buyers, they're knowledgeable themselves. They have family members that are able to do some work, help them out, so the costs aren't going to be so great. It isn't anything that needed to be worked on right away. So, I would certainly still consider it move-in ready, but I think that's a true unicorn too, where, that happened to just be a well-priced home, made sense. The seller was very motivated just because they were leaving the area, and, we were able to get an accepted offer on that property. But, I think the days of starter homes, I think, are all going to be starting with 2s. I mean, to get a home under 200,000, in any of this hour radius that I cover, Sauk, Columbia, Marquette, Dane County, I don't think there aren't going to be many of those homes. And when they do come up, there's going to be people competing against them. So I really feel that, 225 to 250 is the new starter home. So I think that, that's a good number to use as examples, anywhere from, 225 to 300,000 for most.
And I'm going to have each of you answer this question on the screen from somebody watching. It's Dan, one of my tractor pulling buddies, watching on Facebook. Will we see a depreciation in values? And I'm going to answer that with the cost of waiting. And the answer is, I don't think we're going to see a depreciation in values, because when money gets cheaper, the demand for housing is going to go up again. And then that's where you're going to see, for example, a $300,000 house right now, Cory, you could probably write a $300,000 offer and get it. Okay. And rates are probably what, high sixes right now, Jackie, on average? I don't know. I could Google it. Maybe 6.5. I don't know.
Yeah, they're right around 6.5 right now.
It depends upon, like everybody says, what's your rate? And I always say, well, what's your credit score? What's your debt to income ratio? That's not fair. I mean, I can give you a national average. We can Google that, but a lot of times points are buried in there. And I don't like when people try to trick people with a low rate and then stupid closing costs. That stuff makes me sad that happens. But that's where we need, that's why we do podcasts like this to educate people to do that. But so, no, I don't think values are going to go down at all. Maybe there might be some certain high-end luxury markets, where a $1.2 million home is going to go down to $1 million, but that's not the world that we live in. And I'm not against that, but there's just only so many people that can afford a $1.2 million home. We, three of us, deal with a lot of primary residences and a few vacation properties on the lakes and stuff like that around here. But for the most part, it's, first-time home buyers, or it's people using an FHA loan or a VA loan or a USDA loan or a 3% down conventional, something like that. I don't encounter a lot of cash buyers. Obviously, as a lender, I mean, I'm always happy if somebody can pay for cash. It sucks for me because I want a deal, but it's good for an agent if somebody can walk into legit cash offer and knock it out of the park. Jackie, do you think, what's your thoughts, depreciation values over the next 3 to 6 months at homes?
Honestly, I don't think that we're going to see a depreciation in value. It's been a very, very long time since we've seen like a big depreciation in value of homes across like the mortgage market on there. And if the rates do steadily decrease, the values of the homes are steadily going to increase as well too.
Yep. Cory, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, again, I don't think in short term, I don't think that there's any concern about depreciation of value if you're purchasing now. I always do say to my clients, hey, here's some things that were issues in the house. I stress that maintenance is important. I think any home owner, whether you've just recently purchased it or have had your home for a while, I feel like it's an investment and you have to treat it that way. And, you have to maintain it well and do some key updates and, maybe get some, I love it when, owners call me and say, hey, Cory, I'm not looking to sell, but I'm thinking of doing a kitchen or, new windows. What's going to get me the most bang for my buck type of thing. And, I think it varies on each individual house, but I think you have to treat it like an investment, maintain it well, and, do updates to it. So when you are prepared to sell, that you're going to, get a better return on it. And so, no, in general, I don't think that house values are going to take a hit at all. And I think they'll continue to go up like they have year over year. And, if you treat your home well and maintain it well, I think that it'll appreciate. So,
yeah. Do you think we really drove that point home? Like, if you're waiting for rates to drop, so is everybody else. So that $300,000 house that we're talking about, it's probably going to take $330,000 to buy it now. So yeah, the interest rate went down, but the price of the home went up. That's really what the message that we want to drive home tonight. So it might end up just being a wash at the end, or $10 a month. Like on a $150,000 or $200,000 mortgage, a quarter rate is like $15 a month for principal and interest. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, over the course of 30 years, that can add up. But like when Jackie and I close with somebody, we always send out a depreciation thing, like the full schedule and amortization schedule over the course of the loan. And if somebody adds $100 a month to their payment, they knock like 8 years off a 30-year loan. It's simple math on that. So, and that's a good practice I wanted to share. So, the buy now, refi later, Cory thing. Is there another way to say that for people? I guess the only time you'd want to wait now is if you just really want to be like, I can't afford $300,000 now, but that's the house I want to be in. I mean, because we're not going to let you buy a house if you can't afford it. There's the affordability thing. I mean, we have debt to income ratios. I'm not sure exactly how, if we pin that down, Cory and Jackie, you think?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's going to come down to like, if you're thinking in the back of your head that you have a price point of $300,000 in mind, and you're like, but I can't get to that $300,000 mark without interest rates being at like 4 or 5% on there. By all means, yes, you could wait to do that. But at the same time, is it really worth you waiting that long and then getting in a bidding war?
Right. Well, that's something that, honestly, we can do the math people and help them out, Jackie. That's our job as lenders.
Yep.
It's all good. I have a comment I want to throw up here on the screen. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, but the bottom line is this: if you're financially ready, don't wait for rates to be perfect. Somebody put this in the comments, or you might miss a chance to lock in a good deal now. And that truly is a house. So you get it bought, and then you can refinance down the road. And I think that's been pretty common through the history of time. The amount of equity, Cory, that's been in home ownership the last 3 or 4 years is incredible. And I feel like once rates do come down enough to where people really start to refinance, Cory, I think it's gonna make people's lives a lot easier. Clean up a lot of credit card debt, maybe pay off a boat or a UTV. I've actually looked at some scenarios, Jackie and Cory, where even like if the rate went up 3%, because I think this person closed at a low 3, and I think they would have been like at a high 6 at the time when I looked at it. We could save them $750 a month just in cash flow by, yes, their interest rate goes up, but we paid off some higher interest rate credit cards and like a boat loan or a UTV. I don't remember exactly what the scenario was, but they were going to make their mortgage on their house went up, but their overall cash flow for the month, was they increased their cash flow by $750 by paying off some of that higher interest debt. So I think that's going to be a common theme out there. But what does that do, Cory, to you? How do we get more buyers and sellers? I think people are going to be more willing to walk off of a 3% to either to move up or to buy down. We always say move up into a bigger house, or the kids are gone and they're going to move into a smaller house. I think we'll start seeing some of that change over again if rates maybe could get into the 5s. I think is a happy spot. I don't know. What's your gut on that?
Yeah, I think people, I know Jackie had mentioned it earlier and we've talked about it before. We're never going back to 3%. I don't like to say never, but, so I do think that rates are going to even out into that, 5.5% in 2025. And I think that's going to be a really good rate. And I think between, now at 6.5 and in 6 or 8 months, when they're potentially down to 5.5, if you've bought a home at a good price, didn't overpay for it, and saved on the purchase price, and then are able to refinance, I think 6-8 months, a year from now, there's going to be some people are thankful that they did it and didn't wait, and are going to be in really good positions.
Yeah, I would have to agree. By waiting, honestly, you're missing the chance to start building equity in your house now.
Yeah.
And investing literally in your future. And I always use myself as an example when it comes to this, because I am a prime living example of, I bought my house in November of 2019 at $245,000. And then refinanced my house when rates had dropped down to like the 2.1, I think is what I had gotten locked into. And then when they did that appraisal, my house appraised at $300,000. And then even when the rates and stuff like that had went up recently, the value of my house went up, and I actually just got a market adjustment on there that my house is at $375 now.
Nice.
So, I mean, and yes, I have done some updating, but at the same time, like, from 2019 to 2024, that is a big jump in equity in your house. So I definitely would agree with Cory and everybody else that don't wait. I mean, honestly, right now, start building the equity in your future now.
Yeah. How can we use a corny metaphor, Jackie, with hunting and waiting for the perfect shot? Do you have anything running through your mind like that, Jackie?
Oh gosh.
Here I am, Jackie Lange. Here I am, Jackie Lange, in my deer stand, and there's 3 deer out there. One's sort of nice and one's perfect, but the perfect one's a 350-yard shot. I know nothing about shooting a bow. What's a good shot with a bow, Jackie?
The most accurate shot is 20 yards.
Okay, 20 yards. So the smaller deer's at 20 yards, right, Jackie?
Yep.
The medium-sized house is at 30 yards, and the big, the perfect house you've always wanted is out there at 75 yards. Which one should you take a swing at, right? And I think that's really trying to be somewhat funny. I sound like a dork, but I think
and it does true. It is true, and I mean, for people that are watching that go hunting or whatever, it makes sense on there. You want to sit there and keep waiting and waiting for that buck that's standing at the 75 yards to come and walk into the 20 yard. but the likelihood of that happening, it's going to turn around. It's going to walk even further away from you. So why you sit there and wait for that one when you could take a 20-yard shot at a deer and then build your equity to where now, next time you can be good enough to be able to shoot at that 40-yard mark.
Yeah. I really had people tell me, you guys, when rates were in the mid-2s that they were waiting for the market to drop. They're waiting for the bottom.
Absolutely. I had people still telling me the same exact thing when I was doing that too. They're like, oh, it's going to get down into the 1s. No, it's not. And then sure as crap, within like the next 2 weeks, rates went up.
No, I'm not joking when I say this. Go find me one other commodity. I figure a house is a commodity, right? It's something we buy that does not that appreciates over time. We can almost guarantee it. I mean, cars don't. They're having a hard time moving. When you start seeing a bunch of 0% for 72 months, guys, they're having a hard time moving cars. That's just how it is. There's a lot of inventory built up, and there's no housing inventory right now. It's supply and demand, and everybody. That when rates got into 2s and 3s, it turned everybody into a potential homeowner. And landlords took advantage of that. They started raising rents, right? It's supply and demand. That's how it goes. And I think, the confidence of our country, Wisconsin went red. It went blue last time. So that's just how it goes. I think people, and every exit poll I heard, you guys, it was about the economy. They didn't like where we were going, and the changes. The people have spoken, and I think it's going to be good for not just our business, Cory and Jackie. I think for everybody in business. I think there's a confidence again that, wow, we're going to run this country like a business, and I'm excited for that. So,
yeah,
all good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I definitely feel that we're just giving broad information here, but I like playing the futuristic chess game and hearing my clients' individual scenarios, and I've talked to buyers that say, hey, how long are you going to be in this house? I mean, it's this example of the one that we touched on earlier, where I got the accepted offer for this young couple at that 170s. They were actually prepared to go significantly over, but I cautioned them and said, hey, what's your plan here in the next 2 to 3 years? And they're like, yeah, this is just our starter home. We'd eventually like to have something out in the country. And I said, yeah, you can't go way over on this home. So even though you really like it and it's still a decent deal, we went a little bit over, but, I cautioned them because, you want to have that equity. I don't want a buyer that I sold a home to in 2 years call me up and say, hey, I want to sell it now. And I'm like, hey, I'll be lucky if I can break you even. So I think that this is definitely good broad information that we're giving, but I love sitting down with clients, hearing what they're looking for, what their plans are, if it's their first home, if it's their second home, if it's their forever home. It changes my advice and my what I explain to buyers and how I can help them out is by knowing what their plan is and give them the best information that fits their scenario. So again, I really do think that that if rates start to go down, we're going to not be exactly where we were before, but like you had said, Jason, part of the reason that we have low inventory is there are people that were locked into low rates and they don't want to move out of them, but there's going to be different scenarios. There's always going to be people that are transferring, or there's going to be people that are willing to do the refi because they want to wrap up some different debt. So things are going to start moving. And, here we are almost mid-November. The weather's still nice in Wisconsin. I think that plays into things too as well, where, when it's 20 below and 3 feet of snow, maybe people aren't as motivated to look at homes. But I think that's a good time to find deals as well. So, be educated, have a plan, make sure your credit's in order, make sure you're pre-approved, that you have some money in savings, and, look and keep hunting. Here's back to the analogy that I know nothing about, but keep hunting for that right scenario. But if you're just sitting there, in the hunting shack and not out in the woods looking, you're not going to be able to find that. You're not be able to bag your big buck. So. Absolutely. All right, that's the only cheesy analogy I could come up with.
I was following right along with you, Cory. It's kind of like you're literally hunting for a big buck. You're being patient for your shot. You're in the field right now. But when the time is right, like you got to make your move. So basically, cash
No,
in
he-
on your savings now.
Cory
It's all
went-
a different game.
Cory went straight Wisconsin. He used cheesy and the hunting shack over here. I'm excited, guys. This is nothing to do with mortgage, but everybody knows I tractor pull, right? So you guys have heard of Drink Wisconsinly, right? Drink Wisconsinly.
Yeah.
They partnered up with us on a T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
So if people go to Drink Wisconsinly's website and click on Beer My Pulling Team, just one more, then we go. How many times have you said that in your life? So.
Oh, I said that a couple times this week. So
yep, you probably that damn. Yeah, don't call. What night do you have darts, Jackie?
Darts Wednesday and pool on Thursday. So don't call me.
So those mornings, guys, put Jackie on Pacific time. Let her have a couple extra hours in the morning. So, no, I think this is, and I just put this comment up here. And by waiting, you're missing the chance to start building equity. And Jackie touched on that. Cory touched on that. Invest in your future. Every month, that's rent money you can be towards your own property. And unless you're not going to be in that house for 1 year, if you think you're going to be in a house a year or less, don't buy. But if you think you're going to be there at least a year, buy a house. And that's the numbers don't lie on all of that. And that's what's so fun about being in our business. You can borrow somebody's car for a couple of days, but you can't borrow somebody's house. Think of your kids, where they sleep, your pets. A home truly is where your heart is. And it's a lot of love. And I'm excited. I think just consumer confidence is going to grow. I think Jackie and I will start seeing more applications, and a lot of lenders. I think Cory's going to start seeing more activity. And I referred somebody to Cory the other day. I don't know if I want to sell my house, Jason, but I want to know what it's worth. So I referred that over to Cory so he could run a CMA on that. What's that stand for again? Something market analysis.
Yep, market analysis
to find out what's going on out there.
Comprehensive, basically what your home can sell for. And I think that's a good point. I think sometimes we give a lot of advice for buyers and what the next steps are, but I really think that we can say the same thing about sellers right now. Hey, if you're considering selling in the next 4 to 6 months, start the process now. Find out what your home's worth. I mean, Jason, that person that you referred to me, sound like maybe she's gonna make a life decision or something. But again, knowledge is power. Know what your house is worth. I mean, I've over the years, I've absolutely surprised some people. When I tell them and show them, I mean, I just don't pull numbers out of the air. I look at what has recently sold, what features their home has. What the market's looking like, what the inventory is. I mean, right now, for example, I cover Beaver Dam. Right now, there just happens to be a lot of inventory in Beaver Dam. So even within these, you look at the big picture of home values, and then you look at smaller areas. So it could be something as, I'm switching back to buyers now, but it could be something as simple as that is if you're out there hunting and you're out there looking, if maybe you work from home, or a commute's okay with you, you can widen your search a little bit and look at other areas and get good deals. But you have to start the process. You have to figure out what you're looking for. You have to be pre-approved. You need to know where your credit score is at. But again, I will switch back to the seller thing. So it's very simple, especially if your house is been sold recently. In that scenario, Jason, helping out that previous client of yours, I just had some questions with him. We had a 5-minute conversation, asked about updates, asked about the condition, was able to look up some pictures from a previous sale that was on the MLS, and gave her a price range and said, hey, this is what I think, and it could improve because the city she was in, there was very, very low inventory. So I mean, it goes both ways. Whether you're buying or selling, get knowledgeable, find out the facts, and just be ready to pull the trigger. Got another one in there.
Hey, there we go. Cory, you're me the next hunter.
Cheesy trigger deer stand. So I want to add one segment to this podcast I didn't tell you guys about. Like one night, I'm going to ask you one question. It's kind of fun, but at the same time, it tells us more about who you are. And Jackie, you're quick on your feet. So if your life had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Oh,
Jackie Lange? Now, if there's some criminal stuff in your past, I don't want to know about that. I just, I don't want to get in trouble with the police.
Oh gosh, that's hard to even say. My life is hectic, so
I'm gonna go first. Okay.
Okay.
So you guys know I started the beer money pulling team, right? And I started it because there's a line in there. It's a song by Kip Moore, and it says, "Every now and then we're gonna raise a little hell. Hope we get lucky and stay out of jail." That's how I like to live my life. So that's I would say if I had a theme song, that would be the theme song of my. Every now and then we're gonna raise a little hell. Hope we get lucky and stay out of jail. So that's my theme song. Jackie, you going through Spotify?
This is very, this just goes to show that these are very unscripted because I am very nervous and panicking right now, Jason. So.
I know, because I'm like, gosh, I can sing the whole entire song, but telling you what the name of the songs are.
That's fine. What's your favorite song? Like, what's the one song that just gives you goosebumps when it comes on the radio, or if it rolls up on your Spotify playlist? That just makes you happy. Like, you could be in the worst mood, but you hear that song and like that makes me smile. What's that one song for you guys?
Honestly, I love the song "Save Me" by Jelly Roll. To be completely honest, that's probably like one of my favorite songs. My son and everybody loves listening to it, and I loved it. I love his music in general, just because it's straight from the soul and he speaks the truth.
There you go. See, Jackie just like soulful, straight to the truth music. So, Cory, what's a song that makes you smile?
I'm glad that you changed it a little bit, so it's not my true theme song because this wouldn't have made sense. But it just so happened the other day, I was driving along and I thought, you know what? I have not, because I'm a big podcast person, always listening to audiobooks or things. So I actually do not listen to much music. But the other day, I'm like, gosh, there's the songs that I miss hearing. And so it is actually Kenny Chesney, Old Blue Chair.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Have you heard that before, Jackie?
Oh, yeah. I have.
So, yeah, the one, I think that can be my theme song, too. And so I really like it. It just kind of, I've actually been looking, and if I ever find that Old Blue Chair that's in his videos, I will buy it.
Do you guys post that question on your social media, though? Do that after we end the podcast. Okay. Say, if your life had a theme song, what would it be and why? See what people respond to. I think that'd be fun. Put it on your personal pages. You'll get more interaction. So,
yeah.
I want to share. I know we're getting towards the end here, but in the last 10 days, I've been from the East Coast to the West Coast in a motorhome. One of my other hobbies has turned into a job as I work for Full Pull. It's a live streaming service for the National Tractor Pulling Association in the summer. And then in the winter, in the off season of the NTPA, we go out and we do other events as well. And we did Georgia last weekend, Diesel's in Dark Corners, about an hour south of Atlanta. And then we drove the motorhome from Georgia to California with the TV trailer. We blew a tire in Oklahoma, and that was fun. I don't know if you guys followed me on Facebook. I tried to have some parodies with it. And then in New Mexico, we got some bad fuel, and we sputtered up the side of a mountain. We got about 35 mile an hour, got to the next town, and then Doug, who works full-time for Full Pull, is like their logistics, general operations guy, changed the fuel filter, and we got rolling again. But it was just an absolute blast to do that. I mean, I like it. I love my job because I can do it from anywhere as long as I have internet. I got phones, and I like that my phone's not ringing as much with spam calls asking me who I'm going to vote for. Right now, they're on this Medicare kick again. I try to get live people on the phone and mess with them a little bit, but I think that's starting to backfire with me, so I maybe just start hanging up on them again.
They're just gonna start calling you more often now.
Yeah. What one time, Jackie? Not my. I have AT&T. I have an iPhone, and my phone will say spam risk. What does your guys say? Spam risk?
Yeah, I have AT&T too. Yeah, mine says spam risk.
But these numbers look like potential realtors calling me or potential client calling me, so I always answer it. And then if I hear that little silence or that click or something like that, then I don't know. I just gotta start hanging up. But I wish. I don't know. Are there do not call lists? Is that such a thing anymore? Or how do you do this, guys?
It is, but I swear for do not call lists. I don't think they work because I think I've signed up for every one and I still get 75 calls a day.
Yep. So
cool.
Old Blue Chair.
Yeah.
Old Blue Chair. And what Jelly Roll?
What was yours, Jackie?
Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Save Me.
Oh, that's right.
So I like to wrap up every podcast with, you do not need 20% down to buy a house. That's really important to me. And my favorite thing, and I drank a lot of this in Vegas, Tito's. And I actually got a t-shirt from my friends that live in Oregon that says, show me your Tito's, because they know me really well. So it's all good. If this potato can become vodka, you too can become a homeowner. I'm Jason Schultz.
I'm Cory Otto.
Jackie Lange.
I'm trying to point to it's backwards up there. Where's my finger at, Jackie? I'm Jackie Lange.
You're pointing to me.
This has been another educational and delightful experience of This Week in Real Estate. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.